Hello everybody, in the previous video you saw event classes. Now let us talk a little bit about event listeners that are useful for handling events. For every type of event class, there is a listener interface available in Java. All these interfaces are available in java.awt.event package. For action event, there is an action listener, adjustment listener, item listener, key listener, mouse. For mouse, there are two listeners, mouse listener and mouse motion listener, window listener. All these are listener interfaces available. For for handling any event, you have to define your own class that is implementing any one of these interfaces. In a class, you can implement more than one interfaces also. So you have to define a separate class which is handling the event, and that must implement the interface for which you are handling an event. So let us look at the interfaces and their methods. There's action listener interface, which is used for handling action event. Already in previous video I have discussed about action event, and I have shown you how the action event is generated, in what cases the action event is generated. If you want to handle that event, then you must define a class which is implementing action listener. And the action listener interface is having only one method, that is action performed. Here is an example. I am defining a class, say my listener, and that implements action listener. Once you say implements action listener, it becomes mandatory for you to override the method present in this class. Similarly, for every listener, you must override all the methods available in the listener interface. Let us look at other interfaces. Adjustment listener. This is for handling adjustment event which is generated due to scroll bars, and the method available in this interface is adjustment value changed. So you have to override this method. Like the item event is generated on checkbox, radio button, and so on. So for handling the event, we have to implement a listener, item listener, and this is having one method, item state changed. Next is key listener. Key listener is generated when a key on the keyboard is pressed or released. Any key on the keyboard may be pressed or released, or it is kept pressed for longer time. So if it is kept pressed for longer time, that is called as typed. Now this listener is having three different methods, right? In each case, in each of these situations, the respective method will be called. Like if you're pressing a key press method will be called. If the key is released, then the release method is called. And when the key is pressed and kept on hold, then key typed method will be called repeatedly. So whichever activity of a key event you want to handle, you can implement that method, and the rest of the methods you can leave them dummy, but you must override all the methods. Next is mouse listener. A mouse event is generated on the panel or frame. Then this mouse event may be generated due to various reasons, like mouse is entering in this area or exiting from the area, or mouse is clicked, mouse button is pressed and then released. So for each of the activity done using mouse, the event generated is mouse event only. But for every activity, there is a different type of method available, and that respective method will be called depending on the activity, like mouse click, mouse exited, and so on. So mouse listener is having five methods. If you implement a interface, then you must override all these five methods. Even if you need only one, that is mouse click, you must write down dummy methods for rest of them. There is one more listener for mouse, that is mouse motion listener, and it is having only two methods, like just you are moving the mouse without clicking or doing pressing any button, or you are holding the button and moving the mouse, that causes dragged event. So drag is a activity done inside mouse event. So if you are dragging the mouse or moving the mouse, for any of these, the methods are available and the respective method will be called. Next is window listener. It is used for handling window event, and window event may be generated due to various reasons. So for every reason, for every type of activity done on the window, there is a separate method available, and depending on the activity done, the respective method will be called. Like if you are closing a window, then window closing method is called, and when the window is closed, then close method is called. If you're minimizing or maximizing, the respective methods will be called. Mostly this closing method is used from the window. That's all with the listeners. There are more listeners, you can learn about them, but they are rarely used. Now, in the coming videos, I am going to show you how to use all these things and develop your own programs. And in every video, the classes and the interfaces used from Java API, I'll talk about them and use them. Okay, thank you for watching. Please leave your feedback.